On August 28, 1963, a huge National March for Freedom was scheduled to take place in Washington, D.C. 2,000 buses and 21 chartered trains headed for the Capitol. One man roller skated from Chicago. An 82-year-old man bicycled from Ohio. The marchers were going to demand passage of a civil rights bill, integration of schools by year's end, an end to job discrimination, and a job training program as well. Civil rights leader Roy Wilkins spoke to the crowd of 250,000.
My friends, we're here today because we want the Congress of the United States to hear from us in person, and that is, we want freedom now.
The Civil Rights Movement called itself the Freedom Movement, and their cry was freedom now. It brought back home the unfinished agenda of American freedom, and it said, if we're going to talk about freedom, we have to talk about freedom for all Americans. And it was only through a mass movement, the greatest mass movement of modern American history, with thousands and thousands of ordinary people of all ages, all walks of life, taking to the streets to demand freedom in a substantive way in this country, that the civil rights movement succeeded. It is a very inspiring example of how sort of people's struggles for freedom can really change American life for the better.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Finally, late in the afternoon, the last of the speakers stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. It was Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. He began with a prepared text. Then something happened. He stopped using his speech and spoke straight from his heart.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. When we allow freedom reign, when we let it reign from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
19 days after the March on Washington, a bomb exploded during Sunday school at Birmingham's 16th Street Baptist Church. 4 girls were killed. The long quest for American freedom was anything but over. I'm Katie Couric. Join me again for Freedom, a history of us.